Hi, my beautiful teenagers out there, the future of our society, basically. As someone who's spent 27 years in education and spoken to a lot of young people, in primary school even, and up to grade 12, I've found that, a lot of times what I say really, really helps teenagers. So I have decided to focus a lot of my YouTube videos for you teens out there so that you can come to my channel from Instagram or wherever you are, subscribe, and you can see these videos which are completely free to help you. What I want to talk to you today about is getting help for yourself if you are having anxiety or depression. Now, I also need to tell you that I'm a mental health professional as well. I did a master's degree in it in 2013, so I've now got also the qualifications to give you advice, but I've been working 27 years in education. I've been helping young teenagers for a long time, and often they come and talk to me, because I keep them back from school at lunchtime, and instead of giving them detention for not doing the right thing in class, I have a chat with them and see what's going on, and then refer them on to a counsellor in the school, because of course I can't do that. A lot of kids come to me and teens come to me also. So go and have a look at my qualifications and my experience. Not that all that matters to you right now. However, I want to talk to you about anxiety, depression, self-harm, agoraphobia. All right. Now, these are some of the mental health issues that come to people who don't get help for their problems. Now, if you're a young teenager, often I know that you bottle things up. Maybe in some ways you think it's weak to go and get help, but actually smart people don't end up in the psychiatric unit because they actually go and talk to somebody. Look, I'm a counsellor. I still have days where I need someone to talk to. Even counsellors, actually, we have to get counselled on a regular basis so that we don't take on our own life issues and project it onto you. So smart people go and they get help. And by that I mean, let's say you go and talk to your parents, but if you can't, because maybe the problem is your parents, well then the next step would be to go and see the school guidance counsellor or the nurse, the school nurse, or the chaplain, or talk to a teacher you trust and ask to be referred. There's help out there. Okay? Smart people go and get help. That's what smart people do. I had problems when I was a kid. There was a lot of issues. Okay? There's a bit of dysfunction happening in my childhood. So I went and saw a counsellor. How do you think I've got here today? Also, I've studied 2 degrees in psychology and human development. However, there's been times in my life, even as an adult, marriage breakup, go and get help. That's what I did. Okay? And that sees you through that little part because we all need support. So, and also remember, it doesn't take one visit. You don't go there, I've unburdened myself. Yep, that's it. Don't have to talk anymore. You've got to actually keep on going. Okay? So if you find someone within the school or a private counsellor or something, you got to keep on going a few times, and see what they can do for you. You may not, and also I think you do have to like your counsellor and you do have to feel comfortable with them. So, if someone's not that comfortable, then try somebody else. That's what I'm saying. But do not sit there and not get help. We really need to sort our problems out early. We have one chance on this earth. You think that you're going to come back and be able to relive your life? No way. One chance is all you've got, so make it the best, because I can tell you now, life's great. Life's great when you're mentally healthy, when you've found happiness, when you've got rid of a lot of these problems that plague you in your mental space, which should be used to be actually thinking about happier things, but you're self-harming. These are not solutions to your problem. I mean, self-harming is not a solution. All it does is perpetuating. For those of you who don't know what perpetuating, it means keeping the problem going. Keeping the problem going. So, you want to be able to say, I had a good life when you finally die. I'm 60 years old. And I've had ups and downs in my life, and I've had childhood trauma, so I understand, okay? And look, you kids, this can be traumatic. Parents fighting, parents divorcing. Parents don't necessarily have to be abusing you and violating you for you to have anxiety or depression. You might have it because your trauma is that every single day your parents are fighting and you've got to listen to it. And you may lay awake thinking and worrying that not only are your parents fighting, but you worry that they're going to divorce, etc. Okay? But you bottle it all up. And instead of doing something about it and talking to somebody, what I've found in the classroom is kids come in and then they're really badly behaved in the class. Okay? Because they're angry. You're angry and upset and you've got all this. Think about a volcano. This really famous guy, Piaget, who I studied in child psychology when I first became a teacher 27 years ago. He says that the brain, it's just like, it's like having a volcano, and if you don't let a little bit out and a little bit out and a little bit out, eventually it just bursts and it erupts and everything starts pouring out. Now that's what's going to happen. You either have a major breakdown, or you end up with anxiety because you bottled it up, or you end up with depression because you bottled it up. All right? There's also other reasons why we have anxiety and depression, and that's going to be in another video. But first of all, this video is focused on getting help. This is what the focus is, to first of all get you to make the first step to go and get some help. Now, let me tell you something. Sexual abuse is the worst thing that a kid goes through, okay? Whether it was willing or not. Some kids are willingly go and have intimate relationships with someone because it's not painful, it's kind of pleasurable, okay? That's, again, for another video, and I want you to say to yourself right now, when you hear this, it's not your fault. Doesn't matter whether you allowed it to happen, it's not your fault, and I'll explain that in another video. So take away that straight away. No shame, no blame. Blame it on the adult. Go with the adult. Doesn't even matter if you're 13 or 14, it was still going on, whatever, okay, or it started. But that's something. So that's very devastating. And, violence, for example, domestic violence, where you see mum being beaten up, or even sometimes fathers get beaten up, or the parents screaming and yelling and both beating each other up, and not to mention maybe beating you up, and maybe you trying to protect your siblings and protect them, whoever's, at risk. This is all very traumatic as a kid. There's heaps of trauma. And I'm going to talk to you later about what happens with the brain. And this is why we develop anxiety. I'm going to talk to you about what happens with schemers. Everything that happens to us is stored in here, okay, in a mass of chemicals. And it'll come back to haunt you if you don't get help early. You need to get help early as a kid. Okay, so, you've got this one chance on this earth, and I want you to be able to take your last breath, whether it be in 20 years, in 60 years, or 80 years, because you guys are going to live a lot longer than me, okay? You're looking at about 120 with all the medical science now. So what I want to say to you is that make sure that when you take that last breath, hopefully with your loved ones around you, you can say, I had a good life. I had a good life. I had a great life.